Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I was busy today, so I didn't get another one shot. I meant to get one shot. I'm going to put that on the schedule for tomorrow, but something just came up, and I'm going to throw a conspiracy out there to you, a conspiracy theory, my theory, okay? But it could be true. How many conspiracy theories have you seen come true, right? I was flipping through, and it's going to be about the next pandemic, the real pandemic, maybe the global killer pandemic. Are you ready for that? I was flipping through Tubi, and I came across Contagion. Have you all watched the movie Contagion? It's 2011. When our little problem, our little medical problem, came up here in 2020. I started hearing people at the hospital. I was at the hospital. I worked in a major hospital in the security department. And I'll tell you right now, I was there and I saw everything happen firsthand. I was there through the whole thing. We knew the information we were getting was wrong, was false. We took it to the hospital. The things they did, the things that hospital did, I'd love to tell you about because it was inhuman. And I think I'm going to talk about it on Rumble. So I'll let you know when I put that up over on Rumble because I can't put it on YouTube. They'll take it off and then they'll give me a strike. But the things that happened in hospitals during that thing were unbelievable. If you weren't working in a hospital, those of you who worked in hospitals during that time, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't work in hospitals at that time, you have no idea what went on within the medical community. And it was unbelievable. But when this started coming about, some of the people, some of the doctors and nurses says, you know what, this is just like that movie, Contagion. I'd never seen it. I ended up watching it and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe how closely this is aligned. And so I just saw that it was on today and I started watching it again and it reminded me. You know what also it reminded me of? You familiar with Marburg, the Marburg virus? Have you noticed that it's been in the news here lately? It has. It's a close cousin of Ebola. Comes from Africa. Yeah. It's deadly. Real bad. One of those level 1s or class A's or whatever it is they call it. It is so much worse than what they were claiming what was going on in this last bit. You don't even want to think about it. Well, it's been in the news. And I asked myself, now why is this in the news? They're just trying to wind people up? Because, there are people who have said, and I won't say that they're wrong, that this last thing was just a test to see how people would react, see how people could be controlled. And I think that's right. So let me introduce you to my conspiracy theory. You know how many of the elites, the globalists, want to reduce the population of the world, right? What was it, the Guidestones brought it down to 500 million or something like that? I don't remember. Well, they want to reduce the population. That's why we have wars. That's why we have illness. That's why we have all of these things. That's why the stuff is put on our food and stuff is sprayed in our skies and stuff is put in our water. That's why all of that. That's why the fertility rates are going down. But let me throw this out to you. If I wanted to really take down the population of the world, let's say the United States, because I don't know what, Let's just say the United States, so we can keep it workable. You know what I'd do? I would put out a big scary thing. Make everybody shut down their businesses, shut down the hospitals, shut down everything, make people wear masks, close the schools, ruin people's lives, and laugh while they went along with it. And then, and of course, let's not forget making billions of dollars for the pharmaceutical companies that we all got rich off because we bought their stock, right? Not me. This is the theoretical situation. And then allow it to come out that, you know what? Not really. Not really. And then, when I figured that the people had caught on to that, and they would never fall for it again, they would never close down their businesses, they would never put on masks, they would never shut down their schools or their hospitals, then I'd bring a real one in, like Marburg. That's what I'd do. If you haven't watched the movie Contagion, do it. Do it. Just because we think that now, you know, we take a lot of I told you so, you know, by all this coming. It doesn't do us any good, you know. We can march around and be very, very proud that we were right, we were right, we were right. What good does that do the person who lost their family restaurant? The person who lost their jobs? What good does that do the people the older people who died alone in a hospital because the hospitals didn't allow their spouse and their children and their grandchildren up to be with them in the last moments of their life? What good does that do? That good does no good. Okay. What has happened in the last few years is a crime against humanity. But it's not as much a crime against humanity as what may be coming. And I think that's a very real possibility. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me, that's okay. You know, I'm happy to hear your comments. You know, tell me what you think about that. You agree, disagree? Yeah, it could happen. No, it couldn't possibly happen. You know, but that's what I would do if I wanted to reduce the world's population and I was evil like some of these people are. Anyway, I'm going to be keeping my eye on that, and I'll tell you, you all know that I have always said prepare for an EMP or a CME, like in my books. And I do. But are you prepared for what I've just described if something else comes around and it's real? If you do what's in my books, you're going to be as close as you can get to being prepared for that. As close as you can get. Nobody can be certain. Because in this last thing, there were people who shut themselves off, who shut the gates, who didn't come out and didn't let anybody in. And they still got it. And then there were people like me and my friends. I worked in that hospital the whole time through it. I can't tell you how many dead bodies I carried down to the morgue that died from whatever they say they died from. I can't tell you how many people I wrestled with who were coughing all over me. Can't tell you how many people I had to touch and had to come in close contact with. Never got it. I got it a year ago. Right before we went on our vacation. Hadn't been around hardly anybody. I think I went to Kelly's, I went to her reunion. Hey, hon, are you in there? Was it your reunion where we think that I caught that?
Yeah, my reunion.
Yep. So I fought people for 2 years, and I carried dead bodies down to the morgue that were contaminated with all this stuff. Never got it, and went to her reunion outside and got it. You can't be sure. But if you do what's in here, and I'll give a plug here too. You want to know what this is? If you don't know, it's the Stonemont series, my books, The Reversion, The Revival, The Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, The Blessings of Freedom, and The Hostages of Fortune. I'm getting pretty good at that, aren't I? They're available on Amazon. I'll put the link down there, and they're also available through my website, stonemont.us. STONEMONT.us, stonemont.us, because this takes place in a place called Stonemont. It's all about how to prepare for the worst things happening. If you haven't read them, you should. And if you haven't watched the movie Contagion, you should. And you might want to consider this crazy idea that I have about what might really be coming our way. Because I'm going to move that thought from way on the back burner right up here towards the front. Because they've been assuring us there's going to be another one coming. Remember how they assured us of one coming a couple of years before it came? And you know what? Here's the thing. In some ways, it doesn't even matter whether it's real, because of the imposition of control that will be brought against us to encourage us to comply. Tell me what you think about that. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Prepare for this. I'm going to, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.